Finger Lake, mile 112, Greg and Bruce, and I'm sure everyone out there has been wondering this morning, where is our five-time champion Dallas Seavey? He wasn't that far behind Jesse Holmes when they came through Squintina early this morning, headed for Finger Lake, and Dallas is not here yet, Bruce, and we know why.
Little unplanned adventure which happens out here. He had a run-in that soft trail with a moose. His dogs are okay. We don't have the details from Dallas directly, but if you're watching on the tracker and wondering why he's staying there so long, he did have to dispatch the moose to save his dogs. The Alaska troopers have been notified. The meat will be salvaged, but he's a little concerned. We heard about some of the dogs, so he's just spending a little time making sure they're all okay. It's in a really windy part of the trail where you don't get visibility right away, and the moose is laying in the trail. Some of the other mushers have had to go over it like a snowdrift. But the meat will be salvaged. Dallas is okay, but that's why he's staying back there so long.
It's been quite a few months for Dallas Seavey. Of course, one of his teams involved in that horrific accident out the Denali Highway late last year, a few months ago, and now this. And I know Dallas is off his schedule. That's pretty obvious. Now, I don't think this wrecks his chances of winning. Maybe it puts a little extra rest on his team early in the stages. That's never a bad thing. But he is going to have to make up some ground.
Yeah, but there's a lot, there's 900 miles to go yet. And part of the mastery of Dallas is taking adversity and figuring out, how do I use this to my advantage? Or how do I find a way to gain this back? So don't rule him out at all. This is just a hiccup, a pretty big hiccup in the road. But, the irony is, if some of you probably saw a little post that was made even in the ceremonials start in downtown Anchorage, he had a moose hold him up in town. I mean, when the snow gets deep, the moose get on the trails and they just don't want to get off. To them, they look, and a dog team looks just like a wolf pack, so they're going to stay on the most defendable ground. And that's why, and it's the same is true with skiers and people walking around trails in Anchorage and Fairbanks in the winter. Moose aren't necessarily overly aggressive attacking, they're just defending the place they're in. And in this case, it was in a place with little visibility. Actually, Jesse Holmes ran into it first, and it jumped up in the middle of his team, and Jesse told us that then it started kicking at him, and he physically punched it in the nose to keep it away from him. So it's just part of welcome to Alaska.
Yeah, and then Paige Drobny later told us that she actually drove her sled over the moose's bum.
So
I use that word.
But in Alaska, if you're not watching from up here, the meat will be salvaged by the rules. The Alaska Fish and Game and the troopers have been notified, all officials, and the meat will be distributed in the community.
Yeah, Sean Underwood's on the camera right now. Sean, if you want to pan over, there is a dog team on the lake over there, headed in. Those watching the tracker know already who this is. I believe there's 9 teams that have reached Finger Lake. A few, of course. This is Matthew Failer. Okay, so Matthew Failer will be arriving here soon, and you can tell there is some snow falling. It's been snow. There's been snow falling since about 4 o'clock this morning. We are expecting some weather to sink in here later today, which means it may chase us out of Finger Lake earlier than we had planned, but we'll have to wait and see how all that pans out. Perhaps it gets in here and we won't be able to get out. We don't know, but we'll keep you posted there. We will be live when Dallas arrives, and maybe we'll know more of the story then when he gets here. I doubt he'll stay very long. He probably won't spend much time talking about it. With that kind of rest out there prior to Finger Lake, I see him probably going all the way to Rainy Pass at least before he stops again. And so we may not know. Now, we did know early this morning that something had happened out there because our snow machine crew came by Dallas, and Dallas asked them not to hang out or to shoot any video, and he just simply said there's been an incident. And so our snow machine crew obliged his wishes and moved on down the trail. So that's the update. I know everybody's been wondering about Dallas, our great 5-time champion that's out on this trail. We'll know more, and as soon as we can get an interview done with Dallas, may not happen until we get to Rainy Pass.
Milla.
And who's Milla Porcel just leaving? Get over there, Sean. All right. So Milla on the way. And this is awesome. They climb up here, they kind of go through a bunch of structures, and then, I don't know, half mile out there, it opens up. There's some lakes, and kind of they go up in a crook of a mountain, and it's kind of a nice run out of here. There's a dog team that's up there. They'll start barking.
Yeah, it's a recreational dog team that stays here. The people that work here in the winter have. But yeah, they go up the hill and through the cabins from this little resort out here at Finger Lake. And then they go through a series of lakes and little swamps for quite a while. And the teams that went through here, that's what the type of place they're resting in, is out on those lakes. And right before Milla went, we saw Ryan Reddington head out too. So they're gonna start heading on up to Rainy Pass. And a lot of them will go through Rainy and do the same type of strategy. Some will like to stop at Rainy Pass. They have a cabin for the mushers to rest in. And others like to go on up into the pass, into the open country, and get out of the noise and all the activity that goes on in a checkpoint. So you'll see the same type of activity. Some will go through, some will stop.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's the latest from Finger Lake. Sean will keep the camera going here this morning, and when new teams arrive or teams depart, you'll watch it live right here at Iditarod.com. If you just missed or just joined us, Dallas Seavey got hung up early this morning on his run here to Finger Lake with a tangle with a moose. The moose had to be put down. The dogs are safe. Everybody's okay. Law enforcement's been called, and the moose will be butchered, and that meat will be taken someplace so it can be enjoyed. So all is well on the Iditarod Trail. Here comes a dog team. This is Matthew Failer arriving here at Finger Lake. That's not Matthew
Not
Failer.
Matt Failer. Josie Thyr.
That's Josie Thyr. This is the rookie musher that Sean's been telling us to keep an eye on. So this is a rookie. Sean, I'm going to come over and talk to you. So what do you know about Josie?
Yeah, Josie lives up in Fairbanks, and she competed in arguably like the 2 toughest 300-mile races in Alaska, the Copper Basin and the Quest 300.
This year.
Yeah. And the Copper Basin had like a 28-team field, and she got 7th place. And all the really competitive teams that were around her. And then the Quest, 3rd place. It's a really tough course as well. And her dogs, she's got a really close relationship with them, a smaller kennel. So
Looks like she's still got all 16.
it's possible she'll be sending a dog home or something at this checkpoint, but she's parked here, it looks like, right?
Yeah.
She's going to stay.
Okay.
She said she's going to stay. She said the trail was pretty soft from the other teams. She said it actually was kind of difficult trail, so she's going to give them a rest here.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's the latest from Finger Lake. Keep it tuned. We'll keep you updated for sure. Enjoy that morning cup of joe.